But you said it's you and Joshua here. Now, is this fight done? What are we talking about?
You know, it's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's going to happen. We were talking with Turkey tonight, negotiations live in person.
Former world champion, he's now being talked about as an opponent for Anthony Joshua. Can that fight happen?
I think the fight can absolutely happen. I'm looking at it as Jake versus Joshua, which is quite biblical and it's quite impactful in many ways.
The official date of the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua bout is January 2026. According to the reports, the massive crossover fight is reportedly being seriously negotiated, with Saudi boxing power broker Turki Al-Sheikh trying to support the event. Jake Paul's manager, Nikiza Madarian, indicated that negotiations had begun with Joshua's camp in Eddie Hearn. Wembley and locations in the US and the Middle East are among the venues being considered.
In terms of those active discussions, how far have things progressed? Is it something that you can see happening next for Jake and for AJ?
I think we're looking at it happening in Q1 of 2026 is kind of the current discussion. I think it's public that AJ was taking a little time away. I think he had a little surgery. So once he's ready and once Jake is ready, we're going to squarely focus on that.
There are some concerns, aren't there, within the boxing world about Jake fighting someone as powerful as AJ. How much of a worry is that? We saw what he did to Ngannou.
So power is obviously the last thing to go. So obviously AJ has a ton of power and he's still fairly young.
After defeating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul said that a fight with Anthony Joshua was highly likely to happen the following year. After exchanging communications, Paul disclosed that Joshua proposed holding the fight towards the end of 2025, with a full-scale conflict anticipated in early 2026. That sentiment was confirmed by his management, Nikiza Madarian, who confirmed that there were ongoing talks about a biblical fight.
Now, I know you're after a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been floated about. Is there any other fighters who may not be world champions that you're looking to face?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua.
I think that's the main one that, we've talked a lot about is if it's not for the title, it's looking at Tommy, if he's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. And he's adamant that he wants to make that fight happen at the end of 2026.
Anything's possible. And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
Paul gave his public challenge a lot of support by declaring that, after defeating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he plans to have a crazy fight with Joshua next, in order to shock the heavyweight world. He called out Anthony Joshua directly on his podcast, and then doubled down after the match, insisting first on Anthony Joshua.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua exclusive because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua. I know I will beat. Knocked out, right? Yeah. He doesn't have a chin and he has no skill and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. But I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of people. I will not beat David Benavidez.
Paul is adamant that boxing will benefit from his planned bout with Anthony Joshua, claiming it would attract new followers, new enthusiasm, and enormous international attention. Legends like Joshua, Tyson, Fury, and Pacquiao have acknowledged his contribution to the sport, and he has referred to himself as a breath of fresh air. Paul emphasized the need to revitalize boxing, and his popularity among the general public draws in younger viewers who might not otherwise be interested in traditional boxing.
But you said it's you and Joshua here. Now, is this fight done? What are we talking about?
You know, it's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's going to happen. We were talking with Turkey tonight, negotiations live in person, which are always fun. But it's going to happen, and it's just such an exciting fight that crosses the whole globe. When you ask a lot of people about certain boxers, they don't know their names. And everywhere I've been going, I just talk about Anthony, and I don't have, I'm global, so it's just such a good fight for the sport of boxing, and people will think I will die, but I will show them why I can rise against all odds and beat him.
Everyone's been wanting to see it happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight, and what I mean by that is politics, people trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money, get in there, make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight. Get in the fucking ring and fight like men.
With Joshua expected to return late in 2025 following elbow surgery. Eddie Hearn has also indicated that serious negotiations are in progress for a possible Joshua versus Jake Paul bout scheduled for early 2026, according to reports. Saudi boxing champion Turki Alalshik is in favor of holding the fight, which makes it more likely.
The discussions with AJ are as follows. We will be ready to fight November, December. We are planning life without Jake Paul, but if that is for real, of course, we take that fight in a heartbeat. We don't think that, I don't just think Jake's doing it just purely for publicity, but at the same time, will he actually do it? We'll find out soon, but we're up for it. But we can't just live in the world of waiting for Jake Paul. So we're going to fight December, maybe early January.
Meanwhile, Hearn has issued Paul a dire warning. He emphasized that dealing with a top heavyweight like Joshua is very risky and should not be taken lightly, even though he realizes the enormous money potential.
Jake Paul could last 3 rounds with Anthony Joshua. 3, 2, 1. You've seen he's called him out, presumably.
Yeah, in 2026. I mean, that's like me saying I'm going to go for the gold at the 2028 Olympics for surfing. It's clickbait, but he might just be mad enough to have a go. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. I mean, you saw a guy who has the same size as AJ and who has much more ability than Jake Paul, which is Francis Ngannou. And you saw what happened to him, and that was scary for a while. So, yeah, we can joke about it, but I don't recommend it for Mr. Paul.
I like Jake. He's a good promoter, very good promoter, and he's a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humour, got good people around him, the key, so they know their business. There's a massive weight disparity, and that's a tough thing to give away, especially with somebody who's got so much physical advantage over him, and he's a young guy, AJ. He's not an old guy, he's a young guy. Will it happen? Who knows? Anything happens sometimes in our sport. But I think that is a big ask of Jake beating him. Big ask.
Where are you on this nonsense?
Where am I? I can't see it happening. I can't. Although yes, lots of money, so on and so forth. I can't see it. I just can't. It just obviously as someone who's been a unified heavyweight world champion going in against Jake Paul, it doesn't sit right. Yeah, and it's like I'm also talking from a health and safety factor. It's like he's maybe a cruiserweight. Yeah. Anthony Joshua's a very big, strong heavyweight, and if he turns it on, it's not just a risk of a knockout. It's a much bigger risk. So I can't see it personally, but it's good talking point.
Tension was recognized by Eddie Hearn. Fury's evaluation was produced, but it highlighted that there was nothing comparable between AJ and Paul. As he stated in an open interview, you have no trouble viewing it solely from a promotional perspective. If it is a 50-50th battle.
He's been with AJ and Frank Bruno up there, the past, the current. So you're in now, son. You're in the deep end, and he's a good kid and a great fighter. I'm sure people are going to love being part of the journey.
Yeah, I know you're in a bit of a rush there, so I'll move on to Tyson Fury. Are you shocked that Tyson Fury announced he's going to come back to ring? And did you expect him to want Usyk rather than AJ?
I think that he's always going to want to avenge a defeat. I mean, look, he feels that he won both of those fights. You know, I thought they were very close. I don't think he won them, but you know, maybe he does fight Usyk again. We can't control what Fury does. I gave up trying to do that years ago. You've seen from the response online, no one's really interested in Fury against Usyk 3, and everyone wants the AJ fight. But the minute I come out and start saying this and saying that, it probably rolls us back. So what I'm going to say is good luck, Tyson Fury. Do whatever you want to do. Hopefully it involves giving the public the biggest fight the country's ever had.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitates a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world, make the fight.
Last one. What next for Dave Allen?
Well, Dave Allen's been an incredible project the last couple of months. I mean, look, we've been talking to Deontay Wilder, we've been talking to Joseph Parker.
Serious safety concerns were raised when former WBC cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew described the match as dangerously mad over the significant size disadvantage of Paul.
It's a possibility to happen.
Yeah, it's a possibility that it's a possibility an alien might just land on this fucking grass now. It's a possibility.
Listen, I'm not saying the outcome of the fight, but there's a possibility that this fight could happen, isn't it?
You just said the word fight in the same sentence said Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. This is a guy who was on the Disney Channel, made his name big from the Disney Channel, and I haven't really slated this guy because I think he's doing some of the things he's doing for boxing is brilliant. This job he's doing with the women is fantastic. I went into a gym the week before he fights Tommy Fury, and there was 200 kids in the gym on a Tuesday night. Kids, he's a big part of that. I give him all the credit in the world. But in the same sentence, he's fought one live boxer in his career, and he lost. What would you say if I put Tommy Fury in with Anthony Joshua?
Concerns about the physical difference between Paul and Anthony Joshua have been explicitly addressed by Paul's promoter, Nikiza Badarian, who stated, size-wise, we can get comfortable with. It's said to weigh between 215 and 210 pounds, but Joshua's weight was closer to 250 pounds. Badarian maintained that the matchup is feasible due to Paul's power and quick development. He emphasized that Paul feels secure margin-wise because of his heavyweight experience against opponents like Mike Tyson and his developing ring skills. Professionals in the boxing industry, ranging from competitors to trainers and promoters, frequently voiced concerns about the fight's validity, safety, and legacy. He regarded it as a legitimate competition, even though some recognized the business potential.
Don't put it past Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua, as much as he's a monster, he's got a weak mind, hasn't he? So Jake could end up getting into it because Jake's got everyone eating out the palm of his hand. He's a very clever man. So
you really think he's got a chance?
Why wouldn't he have a chance? Look how confident he is. I mean, come on. Like, Anthony would have all the pressure in the world, and if Anthony didn't do him with the first few punches, he'd start doubting himself in his head because that's what he does. But no, Anthony should win, shouldn't he?
What do you make of Tyson Fury saying that he's going to put $1 million bet on Jake winning by knockout?
Tyson to leg it, lad. He's retired about 50 times. What's he on about, mate? Just tell him to leg it, and I'd love him. If he walked in here, I'd obviously...
At one point you were good friends.
I'm still good friends, but obviously if he walked in here, I'd act like I'm not talking about him, but then on the camera I'm talking to him. Is this not what we're on?
Fair enough.
Is everyone not fake, or no? We all... What are we on here? Are we all acting like we don't hate each other? Like, come on. Like, what?
You're on absolute smoke today.
Shut your mouth, Tyson. Shut your trap.
John Fury, father of Tyson Fury, stirred controversy with a bold prediction about a potential Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight. In a candid interview, he claimed Joshua would easily knock Paul out, adding that if the result went any other way, it had to be fixed. His remarks highlighted his strong belief in Joshua's power and experience. However, Tyson Fury offered a surprising counterpoint. The former heavyweight champion said he bet £1 million on Jake Paul to knock out Joshua, calling it a genuine 50-50 matchup. Tyson's unexpected take sparked debate across the boxing world, with many questioning the seriousness of his claim. Jake Paul responded with typical bravado, saying he'd gladly take the bet and raise it, offering £10 million on himself to win. The exchange has fueled intense speculation and excitement about a potential clash between the YouTuber turned boxer and the former heavyweight champ, pushing the fantasy bout further into the spotlight.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky. Getting there. That's protected. And he just done a great job over the Adrian Chavez Jr., who was a middleweight, but still.
Sure.
Yeah. I like how Jake Paul calls out the full spectrum from featherweight to heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? Who did he call out? Tank Williams and Joshua. That's just crazy. That's what you call Richter scale call outs.
Richter scale, I like that.